I've heard that life is what you make it. I say make room to grow. I'm your host, LaWanda Dockery, and this is the Make Room to Grow podcast. It all started with a dream about growing food, and who would ever imagine that growing food would lead to me learning about personal growth and development? Well, it did, and I want to bring you along for this beautiful ride. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello, Grow Nation. I hope this finds you guys well. I hope this finds you in planning mode and strategy mode and getting ready to kick this off to a wonderful new year. I have a silent co-host in the room tonight. She is the cutest ever, my little doggy niece, Callie. She's holding her auntie down tonight. If you've listened for any length of time, then you will know that my motive is to get you growing your own food, to know that there are parallels between growing your own food and personal growth and development, that once you start actually physically doing the thing, you're going to pull out gems that you can apply to your life. Now, let me say there are practical things that you will be doing to prepare for the gardening season. I'll tell you where to get your seeds, what to get in terms of soil, containers, raised bed material, what to do to be in the best position for when the weather breaks. But right now, I want to focus on encouraging you. Last week, I shared with you about the immense harvest that I got from planting maybe 10 to a dozen okra seeds last year. I now have over 300 seeds that I've harvested of my own. I want to look more into the seed itself. I want to talk more about that seed. The fact that a seed comes with everything that it needs to thrive. It can be difficult to look at something so small and wonder how would it be this huge, fruitful, multiplying plant. But that's what our God does. How do we look at ourselves in that manner? How do we examine ourselves in that manner? Do we ever really look to see our potential? Do we ever look to see what is possible for us? I'm saying this to you, as I said before, and I'm saying it to myself. What is it that's in us that is in seed form? We can't possibly know all that God has packed within us. We are fully loaded with all types of possibilities and potentials, aptitudes, proclivities, propensities. How do we tap into what we could be? We know it's only through prayer. We know it's only through the leading of the Holy Spirit. But just think of you and your life. And even if I look at my own life, I think of this journey just with growing food. I could now look back and see that there were little inklings along the way. I remember one time when I was out of work, I discovered that I like to make floral arrangements. And it was the most bizarre thing because I really just had a piece when I would make these beautiful arrangements. And that came seemingly out of nowhere. There was another time where I traveled down south with my family, and I was just so fascinated at how cotton was grown and how pecans were grown. And it seemed really weird because the last thing on earth I should be concerned with is how cotton grows, right? It was just the weirdest thing. But when I look back, my great friend says, God gives us breadcrumbs. I hope she doesn't mind me using that. But he gave me those breadcrumbs. I could not see it at the time. But what else is there in you and me that we can't see? It's dormant. But whenever the right conditions apply, whenever the right amount of pressure applies, whenever we're met with the right set of external circumstances, whenever we're in the right soil, the right amount of warmth and the right amount of sun is hitting the soil, we're getting the right amount of nutrients, the right amount of saturation, the right amount of pressure, what will be activated within us? I think that is such an amazing concept. If we even just think on that for a moment, we're starting out a brand new year. We're coming through a rough season. We can just see the sun shining, so to speak. We can just like swirl up and stir up our hope. Imagine if you are on the precipice or the dawning of discovering a dormant thing that's been within you that you don't even know. And you figure we would know ourselves the best, but no, really, the one who created us knows us the best. Imagine if you have this potential that you know not of, but it's about to awaken. God is about to allow the right circumstances, the right amount of pressure. Maybe you're uncomfortable, maybe you're agitated, but that thing is going to come alive. And you know not of what it's going to be, but it's going to be a beautiful, big, enormous surprise, like a gift from God. I just wanted to encourage you with that today, just to say, we have not seen all that there is to see. So just trust in the one who made you, who created you, who spoke over you, who knew you since before you were in your mother's womb, that there's something so great that he has for you. Guys, I want you to be intentional about those areas in your life where you are going to make room to grow.